As the trade up scenario. Oh boy. Joel. Here we go. Here we go.
Joel.
What was that? Super producer Joel. He got fries. This guy's all over the place. Listen, Chicago Bears are possibly looking to trade up. Per Chris M, I thought this was interesting. He was talking about this on 670 The Score today, and was really and even wrote an article about this, basically talking about moving up could be in the Chicago Bears' plans here. What he said in the article, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I thought this excerpt was really good. Said the cost of the Bears moving up from number 10 to number 4 overall would be one of their second-round picks, either 39 and or 41, if the sides were following the guidelines of the NFL draft value chart. In that hypothetical scenario, the Bears could be in the driver's seat to select a top non-quarterback in this class. But given that this class is viewed as weaker than those of recent years, the Bears could perhaps move up into the top 10 by attaching their third-round pick, number 72 overall, to their number 10 overall selection. The cost of doing business may indeed be less this year, and General Manager Ryan Poles could be drawn to that possibility. Even a trade up 2 spots to the number 8 overall pick currently held by the Panthers, which I don't think they'll ever trade with us again, would cost the Bears their third-round pick and net Carolina's fifth-round selection, according to the trade chart. That type of move could prove to be valuable as well. Boys, this is a real conversation for me. I love the fact that he starts with 4, and I want to focus on that real quick, and then we can talk about the Panthers one. But to me, the pick at 4 here, if there is a chance that the Chicago Bears are looking to trade up, if you can get to 4, not only may you have the pick of the litter at Mason Graham, who I think is one of the players that you would love to trade up for. Will Campbell is also a name that I think you could throw on that list as well, of course, if you're moving up. And we'll talk about the Will Campbell scenario here in a second. But with how this thing is falling, you could go, I think 1 is Cam Ward. No doubt, right? Yeah. 1 is Cam Ward.
Yeah.
2 might be Shedeur Sanders.
Yes.
Cleveland. To Cleveland. You need a quarterback. I doubt that Shadeur's doing well enough for you to feel great about him doing an Eli in that situation. But you know what I mean? But maybe. I could see 2 to Cleveland.
Deion has said he wanted him in New York, though.
I mean, listen, it don't matter if you don't get to New York. Y'all wanted to win games at the end of the season. Feel good about yourselves. Shut up. 2 could be either way. I figure Travis or Shedeur right in that spot. Yeah. If it's not Shedeur in Cleveland, it will be Shedeur possibly in my mind in New York. Both teams need a quarterback. I think the other team goes Travis because they view him as a generational player, can play on both sides of the ball.
You got Travis to
you could have Patriots. Abdul Carter 4.
You got Travis at going to the Patriots then?
No, I said Travis could go 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
3 right now is the Giants.
Patriots
2 is the
4.
Cleveland. Patriots are 4. Basically, you'd be making this trade with the Patriots. That, to me, if now all of a sudden you're sitting there with pick of the litter on which defensive player you want, that is so incredibly interesting. If you're telling me that the value to get there could basically be a third-round pick added to your first-round pick and your pick swapping, it's a no-brainer. I might make this deal if that is on the table, if there is a possibility for that, just because now you've got pick of the litter at one of those top guys who we're sitting at 10 right now. You may not be able to get to that guy. What are your thoughts, boys?
Yeah, I think, I mean, if you're going up to 4 and all reports are that Abdul Carter, he hasn't even worked out. I seen something that said, he's still working out some things with his shoulder. You talk about getting that help on the defensive side of the ball because at that point, you're talking about possibly a Mason Graham or Abdul Carter. If nobody's taking a flyer on this, though, I don't see why you don't get an Abdul Carter because at first we were talking about if you possibly would keep a Will Levis, Abdul Carter would be the pick. So I think that this is a definite no-brainer. You get a game changer on that side of the ball, and it doesn't cost that much. I mean, I even seen something where they said that they brought Myles Garrett back, and they could have possibly took Abdul Carter to pair with him in there to make the defense more lethal. So if you getting that at 4, I mean, come on, what are we really doing?
No, for sure. JC, what's your thoughts?
I'm getting tingly just thinking about it.
Oh,
I don't know why
he's got me.
I don't even know why you put this out in
now.
the atmosphere because just the chance of going all the way up to 4 and getting probably the best blue chip prospect out there outside of maybe Travis Hunter, who can play both sides of the ball. Abdul Carter is a no-brainer. I mean, he's like the second coming of Micah Parsons. Same jersey, same college. I mean, of course, that's a lazy take, but that's literally exactly what he is. He is another version of Micah, and that's why you would want to go up and get him. I'm fine with doing that. I'm fine with if you're saying you're going to give up 10 and 39 or 41, take it. You'll still have a second-round pick. You'll still have a lot of other issues that you can cover, running back, and, some more depth on the offensive line. Abdul Carter really, really fills a lot of boxes when it comes to that second edge rusher, maybe a hybrid that can also play linebacker as well. You got rid of Jack Sanborn, so that would be meaty.
I personally feel like this is an overthinking moment. I say that to say we knew what we needed to shore up coming into this offseason. They focused on it. I think you just complete that cycle. There's no need to take that leap to potentially get it wrong. I think you go with Will Campbell or you go with Armand Mimbo. I think you stay where you are and not risk giving up more depth later because there are still valuable pieces even on the defense that you get in the second round.
How do you potentially get it wrong though?
I don't see it happening. Like for instance, there are a lot of projections that have Cleveland taken
Abdul Carter.
Yeah. There's a lot of projections that say that. So realistically, I don't see that being like you're taking a risk to move up to 4 and you still might not get the guy you want.
Well, it depends on if that's the guy they wanted. But you guarantee you get Will Campbell. You guarantee you get Mason Graham. You guarantee. That's the thing. I think there might be a run of these big dudes. We're seeing the big dudes start to fly up the board.
If Abdul Carter goes at 2, there's going to be a run at quarterbacks. Because it
ain't enough quarterbacks to run.
But kid, Mason Graham is not a slouch.
Yeah,
no, I'm not saying he is.
Mason Graham is absolutely that dude.
Mike Green is not a slouch. If we want to be technical, at
Mason Graham a different.
Mason Graham is him.
Let's be for
Fletcher Cox, Aaron Donald.
I hear what you're saying. I'm just think about it. There's too many.
I love Mike
There's
Green. I hope
3 teams
he's
that
Fletcher
need
Cox.
QB. The Giants need a QB.
Yeah.
The Browns
not really though.
No, they got
and that's the thing. There's not too many
that's
teams.
for the year.
The Raiders need a QB.
That's not.
You can't go long with Geno.
There's not too many teams that need a QB. Well, the thing is, you're rolling with Geno right now. You're not taking a QB this year. There's only 3 QBs to take. None of these mugs would be in the first round if this was last year's draft. Every one of these quarterbacks is going after J.J. McCarthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the quarterback draft that you have. And realistically
after
speaking,
Michael Penix.
You're talking about the after Michael Penix. I forgot about him. Realistically speaking, you're talking about the quarterback run being
Jackson Dart may crack top 10.
He may.
Yeah, but because the Saints need it though.
Because they need one.
Trade up.
Right?
But I think that what I'm saying is you're talking about 3 teams that need a quarterback, and one of them may sign Aaron Rodgers. You're talking about the Colts. You're talking about the Saints.
If you sign Aaron Rodgers, you still need a quarterback.
You still need a quarterback, but
you still need to draft
But what
one.
I'm doing if I sign Aaron Rodgers is I'm probably not trying to take Jackson Dart.
That's when I take Jackson Dart.
I'm taking Jackson Dart if he gets to me at 21. I'm not moving up to go get Jackson Dart. The quarterback draft is so mediocre this year that I think that's why the Bears would want to trade up in this scenario and try and get a blue chip piece, try and get that blue chip defensive player and make sure that you get it. And to me, I see the people that are like, oh, but you need depth. You need to go out and get the guys. Listen, if you're telling me I leave this offseason with the defensive line rebuilt, I get Abdul Carter and or Mason Graham or Will Campbell. I've either got my offensive line fully rebuilt or I've got this defensive line fully rebuilt. Either way, now I'm ready to hit the ground running. I've still got 2 second-round picks. I've still got 2 second-round picks to go out there and still address other needs. You wouldn't have a pick in the 3rd. You wouldn't have a pick in the 4th. I think we have one in the 5th, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I think that would technically be the end of our draft there. But my thing is, this game is built on blue chip pieces.
I respect
How many blue chip pieces you got? Those blue chip pieces, most of them will not be there at 10.
Yeah.
You don't think Will Campbell will be there at 10?
He's not.
I think
He's not.
Patriots. I think he will be.
What you're doing is that you're trying to hedge your bets that you can get a good player, period. So why wait and hope that someone snatches a guy, at 10? Now you're probably getting the second best of that position, because if Campbell's gone, you're taking the second best guy. If Abdul Carter's gone, now you're taking the second best defensive end. If Mason Graham is gone, you're taking the second best defensive tackle. So all you're doing is guaranteeing one of those. What scares me is that if they make this trade, if they don't go for Will Campbell, that means they're probably going to roll the dice on Braxton Jones as the left tackle. But they shore up
anyway.
Right, but they're shoring up the defensive line to a point that they may need that piece that Dennis Allen needs on the D-line, because we don't know if they don't feel that Dexter is the guy. He actually fits the he was more so drafted for the cover 2 defense and how they had him as that 3 technique guy. If he wants to go with the other guy from Michigan, it's probably he might fit what they want, Mason Graham. So
Mason Graham.
I'm fine. I mean, look, I like his. I want to trust this scouting department. I want to trust this process to see who they actually pick.
Yeah.
Because we don't know. It's like 1 minute, is it Ashton Genty if they want to show up the running game? But it's like, well, they just signed Swift last year. Swift. And we still have a running back with Roshan.
My question is,
and they may draft another running back in the later rounds. So what's the big board really like?
I'll tell you what the big board's like for me. The blue chip pieces at the top. Well, and if you're telling me there's a chance I leave this thing with Abdul Carter, now if Abdul Carter's going right, maybe you don't move up as high. He did bring up the scenario where you don't go where you go just move up to 8, right? 8 probably can get you Mason Graham with how things are falling. 8 probably can get you in still getting one of those blue chip pieces. It would still cost you a 3rd round pick. Then I think I might be a little bit less inclined to move up, because it's like, okay, well, I'm here. If somebody's on the board, I want to take that conversation. Yeah. I want to have that conversation. I also don't think Carolina will ever trade with us again. But to me,
what's your philosophy on what side of the ball we draft for? Because if you're like, hey, we definitely need to draft for defense, I can see what you're saying. If it's, I want to fill out the rest of this O-line, I don't think you need to move.
We need a left tackle and we need an edge rusher.
I don't think you need. So, but it matters, because if you say Mason Graham or Abdul Carter, you got to move up. Those, I don't think they're going to make it to 10.
Mason Graham, I think may, but it depends on if you get if Armand Membu ends up moving into the top 10, if he moves up there. Like, it's going to take guys moving up. Dum probably is going to end up falling out of the top 10 now.
Ted
McMillan. The fact that I knew who you were talking about.
I like Dum.
Hey, this my thing. I get it, right? There's something about the younger generation, right? You want to, hey, we letting it know. We putting it out there. I ain't scared of nothing. I'm not worried about it. You ain't got to say everything. Nope.
Like, you really don't have to say everything. I ain't even gonna say the younger generation, because I say the same thing about Stephen A. Smith. This crash out tour that he's on is crazy. You ain't got to say everything.
Yeah, he needs to shut up.
You could have left it alone at this point. Like, yeah. It's certain people, you don't have to say everything.
Yeah, agreed.
And that to me is like, I think he just cost himself some money. I think teams are going. Now, there's going to be somebody that looks at that from the glass half full side and goes, "You telling me you was that good and you didn't watch a second of tape on your own?" But I think there's most teams going to look at it and be like, "I've seen the don't watch tape route. Yeah, I mean, that's not great players." I think that the question really comes down to, again, who has the most impact if you draft a player, right? Mm-hmm. Not everybody's just going to be. You would like it that you draft rookies and they do their thing. They should. They may in their minds feel that they have totally already rebuilt this line just by fixing the interior. You already have Darnell Wright, and if Braxton is in their minds a capable, good left tackle, they may say, yeah, we take a left tackle in the second round or in the later rounds. But I think now they're going to draft for depth. So at this rate, it's like we can actually have drafted at a luxury, because now it's like, what is the most high impact player we can get that could do something? And if they want a rotation on the defensive line, it actually makes kind of sense.
I think the reason why I'm not scared, sorry, real quick, I wanted to comment on Piquet's philosophy. Your usual philosophy when it comes to the draft is what?
Skip these picks.
Exactly. Skip these picks. And I think this is the year. Well, yeah, but honestly, in this draft, I would take this philosophy in football. I feel like if you skip the picks, if you say, you know what, we're going to move up and skip the third round, skip maybe one of our second rounders if we go all the way up to 4, because that's what it's going to cost, and we get the guy. We get a generational, quote unquote, player, a blue chip player, a special player that will impact the defense or the offense for the next 10 plus years. I don't care about 72. I don't care about 39 or 41, whatever we're getting, because now you've completed almost your roster. And the roster, for lack of a better word, has technically been completed over the course of this free agency, over the course of this
Still
offseason.
holes. You still got some holes.
You got some holes, but they're not gaping holes. They're like little bitty little. They're not potholes. What a hole.
But let's be for real though. Like the moves we made on the line.
Yeah.
The best move we made outside of center was a guy who was over the hill in his 30s.
He ain't over the hill yet, though.
I mean, you
he's
get
still
what
a
I'm
pro.
saying.
I was gonna say he's still playing.
He's
at
still
all pro
playing at
level.
all pro level.
Over the hill guy.
But hear me
He's still
out.
playing at all pro level though.
You're going to start having to rotate that out a little bit.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
You're in a prime position now to get your 10-year piece there. You take it now. The one thing you've always done, it's also
But
about
Joe
your.
Tooney's a guard.
But it's also about your team pro. I get what you're saying. It's also about your team profile though. What have we always been able to do? What have we always been able to find?
Cornerbacks and defense.
Defense has never been our issue. Mm-hmm. Go all in on your offense.
So address the offense.
That's
is
what
what
you're
saying.
talking
Dennis
about.
Allen has enough. There's enough talent. Like that's why we were so attractive to this coaching
see,
staff.
I think-
We already had the talent in so
but
many
this
respects.
is the difference, kid. If you trade up to 4, this is the power of quarterback. That's the best player in the draft, and it's not close. That's the best football player in this draft.
I don't think you're going to get him.
If he, I'm saying if you're at who?
Maybe
It's Travis.
Maybe. I'm with
It's
you on
Tra-
that.
it's
I'd say
Travis.
Travis is maybe
Let me ask
right
you this.
there.
Let me ask
Right
you
there.
this. And I think,
and that's
listen.
not- and
I
that's
think
not
Travis is
that's not
phenomenal.
no-
I think Travis is a phenomenal football player. Is Travis Hunter the best wide receiver in this draft?
No.
I see what you're saying.
Is Travis Hunter the best wide receiver in this
He's
draft?
not the
No,
best.
he's
might-
not the best cornerback either.
He's not better. He's not better than
And in
Torrey
the league-
McMillan.
and in the
Not better
league,
than
he's
Will
not.
Johnson.
He's going to be a good player on a team that eventually could win.
Is Travis
He's not
Hunter
gonna be
the
the guy,
best
though.
DB in this draft?
No, Will Johnson is.
No, I'm with you on that because I said that.
I
but
see the Michigan yellow peeking through. You ain't in the line, I fan.
Oh no, wait. Is he top 2 in either?
No,
top
no,
two.
no, yes.
He's top 2 at DB.
Is he
I
top 2
don't-
receiver?
Here's
don't-
the no. Here is the.
He's not top 5 receiver.
He's top 5 receiver.
Top 5,
in this
yeah.
draft.
Travis, yeah.
Travis, he top
All right,
5.
so pure athlete stuff like that, he might be the best.
But it's not a great receiver draft either.
Pure athlete, yes. I think
He
he
might be the best pure athlete. This is the best football player in the draft. I got pure athletes.
Okay.
I seen pure athletes. We drafted a dude. We talked about it this morning. We drafted a dude that could jump out of a swimming pool.
Yeah, Gilbert.
That don't help me on
Yeah.
that don't help me on the football
Gilbert.
field. Gerard Gilbert.
Dumb Gilbert. Yeah.
I don't know about Dum Gilbert. I don't know. I don't know.
all
I'm
right,
sure he
all
watched
right.
tape.
I'm sorry.
There was some
All right.
tape watch. All I said was stop saying
Dum-Dum.
everything. But like he's the best football player in the draft. And if
Okay.
you're telling me I could trade up by giving up a 3rd rounder to get the best football player in the draft, I'm doing that every day. I'm doing it twice on Sundays, maybe 3 times on Tuesday. Depends on if I got a meeting that day.
You
or
know
not.
what this is
Right.
though? I also doubt the fact that you can trade up with just a 3rd round pick too.
That's second. You got to get a second.
I doubt that you're
If
gonna.
if he's there, you giving up.
I doubt that you're going to be able to go from 10 to 4 just giving up one extra pick.
It's a weak draft. It's such a weak draft.
But the thing is,
the
if
only
they go-
the only room
And if you're trading with the Patriots need more picks.
the only room that everybody's raving about is the one room that I keep telling you you don't need to take Ashton Jenney at 10. That's the running back room.
Well, yeah, I think I don't think there's any. Well, that's not me. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say there's not anybody,
we
but
know.
I'm not taking a running back at 10. We actually do have some running back topics on this show today. So
Oh, do we?
We got to talk a little running back on the show
let's
today.
get it going.
But we're not gonna do that yet. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to the show. Love, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do because